Hey Space Boys and Gals. Today I wanted to do this drawing because I was inspired by this song by Beach Bunny called Prom Queen. Throughout this video, the outfit kind of changed because I really did like the song Prom Queen, but I just couldn't find a good outfit to go with it, and I didn't want it to be too retro. So by the end of it kind of became inspired by Jim and the Holograms, if any of you remember that. And I really wish I could have played y'all the song, but copyright strikes and all, so if you want to, I'll probably link that song below so y'all can listen to it. And let's get started with this drawing. Today I wanted to talk about making mistakes because I realized from making mistakes, it really helped me get to this art journey that I am in now. Because I remember in the past when I was in 7th or 8th grade, I would always try to make everything perfect. I could never go back and erase things or anything like that. Once it was on the paper, it was done. And I realized that when you're a younger artist, and especially when you're starting out, you want everything to be gold on its first try. And let me tell you, even now that I'm out of high school and everything, it's still hard for me to draw something perfectly fine and be okay with it. I'm always constantly changing my idea or changing what I do, and just a simple mistake isn't going to stop me from the goal that I want to be at. So I wanted to make this message today because I just thought that a lot of younger artists should hear this, because I'm seeing on a lot of platforms how they say I love your art, it looks perfect. Well, yeah, it looks perfect now, but you didn't see how many mistakes I made, how many things I tweaked on my digital art, how many times I went back and edited things, because I'm showing you the finished product, the prettier side of things that I want to get done. I'm not showing you what actually happened, all the mistakes that went through my drawing. You're just seeing a sped up version that's polished and pretty. So yeah, I want to say making mistakes, it actually teaches you. So just keep going and push through it even if you don't think that it's going to help, because trust me, mistakes are a way to get better. Talking about mistakes kind of reminds me of a funny story when I was in middle school. I remember, I don't know if these girls were really my friends. I kind of think they were just talking to me because one, I was kind of annoying and we were in the same art club. And basically, I remember they used to draw so good. And I was like, oh my gosh, they're drawing in pencil and they're not even making any mistakes. And I used to be so envious of that, and I would go home and I would draw all the time. This is so funny to admit nowadays, because I'm like, wow, I follow these people on Instagram and they might know if I'm talking about them if they ever watch my video or anything. But I thought their art was so freaking cool. And one of my friends, she drew me something, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is the greatest thing on earth, because I looked at it and I could barely see any eraser marks or anything like that. And I would just compare myself so much, and I would go home and draw and be like, wow, your drawings suck. But honestly, we all had different progression levels, and as a kid, you don't realize that you're comparing yourself and stuff like that, but it's making it worse. Don't compare yourself, sis. You just gotta go out and do it. If you really just sat around comparing yourself to everyone, you would feel like the crappiest person ever. And so that's why I say make mistakes, because dude, mistakes have taught me so much. And also, if you're just learning how to do anatomy and stuff like that, I'm still currently learning that now. And if you're still learning stuff like that, of course there's gonna be mistakes. You just don't come out the womb knowing how to do this stuff, So you gotta learn how to get through this process, and you can't just give up. Whenever I talk to friends and they're like, oh no, I doodle, I can draw a flower and stuff, but I don't know how to do things. I really wish I could draw. Sis, it is not too late. Learn from your mistakes and just keep it going. I just don't like it whenever you're just blaming it because oh well, I drew this and it doesn't look as good as you. Don't compare yourself, girl. You have your own skill level, and that's just what you want to do. By the way, if you didn't catch this little thing I put on screen, I messed up on this girl's face and I really did not like it. So speaking of making mistakes, I made a mistake in this video, and I'm gonna be covering her face up with a sticky note, because like I said, when you make a mistake, you learn from it. And yeah, I know that I drew it in pen, but I'm just going to take a sticky note and place it over it, and it's probably going to look a lot better than the thing on the screen right now, because when I tell you, when I was drawing this, it was very late at night, so I kept coming back and looking at the face, and I was sort of just like, wow, this looks really gross. And when I woke up in the morning, I pretty much covered the face because I was like, I'm not about to leave this and let it be on my thumbnail and haunt me for the rest of my art career. So that's definitely not happening. Another thing with making mistakes that I would say is good to have is making goals. Like, for example, if I notice that I'm really, really bad at something and I really need to get better at it, I'm gonna make it my goal to at least try to touch up on it. I know, like, you'll study something and you're like, man, I really nailed this, so like I should be perfect at it. Even if you study this thing for years, you're not gonna be perfect at it. So just cover it up, keep going, and move along. Which is something I often have to tell myself because I'm like, I literally studied, I forgot what, how to draw like cartoon hands for a while. And whenever I mess up on the hands, I get so angry at myself. And like, I would always get so angry when I mess up a hand. And now I'm sort of just like, I really don't care. I'm just gonna cover it up with a sticky note and go. Because it's usually hands and probably legs that I mess up on. Because like, sometimes I make the legs look like broken and I'm just like, sis, what are you doing? And so, you know, you really just gotta try to get out of that awkward comfort zone of like being like, oh my gosh, I messed up, I'm never gonna be good at this. And so for me, I just always cover things up with Post-it notes. That is a real fact. I forgot who I learned that from, but I was watching somebody's sketchbook tour, and when I was a little kid, this was probably like, beginning of freshman year of high school, whenever I saw that people would cover their things up with sticky notes if they ever messed up on drawing a part of that. And when I was a pencil artist, I was like, well, that's pretty stupid because I have an eraser. But now that I only draw in pen, other than this video because I wanted to make it look good, so I drew it in pencil first so y'all could see the whole process. But usually in my sketchbook and things, I draw in pen and I mess up a lot. And so I was like, that sticky note idea is actually pretty brilliant. And like, it's funny because people will look through my sketchbooks and they think that I just added those sticky notes for a pop of color, like to gain attention. But no, in reality, I messed up with those things. And like, my friend was looking through my sketchbook and she was just like, oh my god, all these colorful sticky notes, I really like that, like it looks really good. And I'm just like, really? I just made a mistake there. And I showed my sketchbook to my art teacher and he was like, I really like what you're doing with the sticky notes, I think you should do more of this. And I'm just like, dude, what are you talking about? Do you mean I should make more mistakes? And he's like, yep, I really do mean that, so that you can learn from it and that it looks good when it comes all together. And you know, stuff like that is really encouraging to hear, especially from people like your best friends and your art teachers, like learning from your mistakes. And you're hearing that from a teacher. Like, that's a really good message to hear from a teacher, especially when art teachers like everybody's style. Not like everybody, like not those kids who copy anime off of like off the screen, like screen tracing, and they act like it's art. But the teacher doesn't know that anime, so they're just like, oh, okay. Literally, I saw this kid in class print a screen thing, like one of the anime comic book strips, and all he did was enlarge it on a printer and trace it. And he tried to make it this big thing, and all he did was change the colors. And I was just like, dude, that's so dumb. And I was wondering what he was doing at first, because I was like, what are you doing? Because we're in study hall. And he went to the printer and he was like, oh, nothing, I'm just printing this reference out for my art project. And so, you know, I'm thinking like a reference, like a pose or something, because I was like, oh, well, he could like, I don't know, add his own character's features to like the body anatomy thing, because I get that we're bad at anatomy sometimes too. But no, literally, he just took it and copied. And it made me so angry that they actually put that up on the art hallway, because I was like, dude, he literally just stole this and copied it. And yet that's why my other art teacher took it down. And I was just like, dude, that is so stupid. Like, but like, you won't credit, like, but they won't put up real like stuff that people actually tried on. Actually, they put some really good stuff in the hallway, but like, it just makes me so mad that like his stuff was in the hallway. And I know that sounds really weird to say, but like, it just made me mad because it's not your work. Like, it's definitely somebody else's. They worked hard to make that anime or manga or whatever you call it. And, you know, like, you don't deserve that credit if you're just stealing somebody else's stuff. Okay, I'm sorry. I got really heated about that topic because, one, it was something that was a big deal with me and my art friends in high school. But now that that's over, I just want to say, the reason I brought up goals is because in the future, I really think I want to get into animation. And because I'm going to my college and they offer an animation course, and I was going to start off like learning that stuff for my freshman year, I really wanted to just like set goals for myself. And I know that I make mistakes and stuff like that, but I'm starting to like try making small animations and stuff on my Instagram. You can follow me if you want at Uforising. And yeah, I'm just really trying to, you know, get myself out there with my art now. So I'm starting to post more art stuff on my YouTube and all like my Amino, and I don't have Tumblr anymore, but my Instagram and things like that, and really try to get like a name for myself. Because one of my favorite YouTubers, Mew Tripled, I was watching her and like she was talking about how you have to carry like goals with you, like, and most animators, they didn't even go to school like to be animators and stuff like that, and some of them did, and they don't have to necessarily go to Cal Arts and things to be an animator. And I was like, wow. And she was talking about how it's good to set up a little reputation for yourself, even if you're scared to put yourself online, by like going to show yourself like different things, like show off your artwork, like commission things like that, just to get your foot in the door of animation, so like your name can be a little bit wider spread, just so they know you. So that's kind of what I'm trying to work on right now. I'm trying to work on like a reputation with my art and stuff like that, trying to form a more concrete art style instead of it looking like anime threw up in my sketchbook. I don't know, trying to get into more like animation stuff, learning processes, and you know, just setting big goals for myself, like learning from my mistakes, learning how to animate things and stuff like that. I know this might be kind of boring to you guys who are just like, we just came here to watch a draw and rant video, but like, these are just some personal goals that I'm trying to carry for myself right now. And yeah, maybe one day you guys will hear my name in the art world or something whenever I like keep holding this YouTube channel up. And yeah, I really like making videos right now, so I really hope that the streak continues of me making good art YouTube videos that I can continue doing. By the way, I forgot to record the process where I erased all the pencil from underneath the ink with my kneaded eraser. By the way, everything that I used is going to be down in the bio, but I also changed her face whenever I got done doing all the like erasing the pencil lines. So yeah, right now we're going to go on to the coloring process, which I'm using prismacolors. And honestly, I didn't buy these prismacolors, but I got them from one of my best friends. And like, he just said that he didn't want them, but dude, I didn't expect there to be such good color pencils in the world, because like, these things are literally so amazing. And now I see what all the hype is about, because when I'm using them, I'm just like, oh my gosh, look at all that colorful pigment on this page right now. But like, at first I was just like, yeah, I don't see what the hype is about some like expensive color pencils. But now that I got them for free, I'm just like, girl, I totally understand the hype. I am with it right now. That is absolutely all the art that I can rant about right now, and all that I feel like ranting about. All I wanted to say is shout out to iMovie, dude, for updating, because now they have the green screen update and the soundtrack update where you can just make a video and sync like music in a loop. And it's so helpful, because for me, I used to like hold my headphone up to my computer to record music, if you couldn't tell, because it would sound kind of glitchy sometimes. And now with this, I can literally just loop it, and it sounds a little bit more professional than holding a microphone up to a computer and hearing your computer breathe and all that and sound gross. So yeah, thank you so much, iMovie, and I hope my YouTube channel really starts growing, like, because I'm at 141, dude. This is the most subscribers I've ever had in my life. So thank you guys so much, and thank you for following me on this art journey. So yeah, continue watching, and see you by the end of this video. Well, I couldn't find my glue to glue this little tab down, but the good part about this is it shows that not everything goes as planned, and if you lift it up, you can see that old lady face that I drew earlier that I don't like. So I kind of like that you can flip it and see my accidents, but I might just staple it down once I put it in my sketchbook. Thank you for reaching the end of the video, and please hit that subscribe button because I'm trying to reach 500 subscribers before 2020. Thank you so much for watching, and yeah, I hope you have a good day, and I hope you were drawing along with me while I was drawing too.